Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of this short 5-video series of how to do keyword research with Helium 10. So without further ado, let's dive on back in. Hello everyone and welcome back. Now in the last episode I demonstrated to you the power of the tool called Cerebro and how you can use this tool to extract the information and all of the keywords from your competition so that you know exactly what keywords are working for them and what keywords are not working for them. Now in this episode, take this a step further. I'm going to dive into how you can analyse these keyword results correctly. Now we are in the Cerebro tool, and if you remember from the last episode, we conducted a keyword search on Crocs, and I was beginning to show you the mindset of how you can start to dissect the markets and dissect these search results and then actually see the difference from these different keyword phrases based off how many people are searching for each keyword and the differences in them. And the simple example I gave you in the last episode was from the top 2 keywords we have Crocs women's, Crocs men's, and already there is a 60,000 search volume difference in them every single month just from that. But now I'm going to keep going through these search results and taking this a bit further. So okay, let's have a look. The next one I'm seeing is slides for men. Now if you want to actually dive into each of these keywords and examine the markets, then you can do that by pressing this little arrow here. So let's take a look. And the idea now is we want to see what's actually showing up on page 1 for each of the keywords that we pulled from Cerebro. And this is where the real power lies, and it's about to get interesting. So make sure you keep watching to the very end. Now if you have the Helium 10 Chrome extension already installed, this is what you need for this next step in the keyword research process. But don't worry if you don't have the tool yet, because the video that's just popped on my screen now explains in depth exactly the power of the Chrome extension. But assuming you already have this installed, what you want to do next is click on this button at the top of your browser, and now this will pull up the tools from the Helium 10 Chrome extension. And now we're going to click on XRAY. Okay, and now what XRAY has done for us, as you can see at the top here, slides for men is the keyword phrase that we pulled from Cerebro. But what this has done now, this has pulled up all the search results from page 1 for this keyword phrase, broke it all down into an easy to understand list of information. So let's examine the information that XRAY has given us. As you can see here, we have the search volume again, which matches what we had on Cerebro, but now we have the total revenue from all these products, which is coming up at a whopping $19 million. So as you can see, the scale of Amazon is phenomenal. And then the average revenue is $300,000. The average price, $31, and so on. These are the main metrics though that you want to be looking at. But then now I'm going to scroll down and see where we have parent level sales. I'm going to click this now, and this will now organise the lists of products in order of how many they are selling from most to least. As when you're conducting your keyword research, you want to be looking at the most popular products within your market so that you know what they're doing correctly, and then this is how you can begin to compete. So let's take a look at this information. If I scroll through now, you can see that Crocs unisex adult is selling 172,000 units every single month. And this goes back to the point I was actually making in the previous video, because the top 2 keyword phrases from Cerebro were Crocs women's and Crocs men's. So these have met that selling point by doing unisex, meaning they're targeting both men and women. So for a hypothetical example purposes, you can see how by going to the next layer of this keyword research that the competition are actually meeting the demand for the top 2 keywords that showed up in Cerebro, and they're also ranking for other keyword phrases in the niche. This is actually slides for men, but they are still rank 1 for that keyword. But what you want to do now is just have a scroll through and see what comes up. And here, obviously, this is actually Adidas, which, as I'm sure you all know, is a famous brand. So you don't want to be basing your product from branded products. So this is a good example of something to look out for. If you come across a product that is branded from a well-known brand, don't let this make you afraid of selling that product, as long as there are other products that are also ranking for these keywords. As you can see here, if I scroll down, there is a brand called Bronax. Now, I don't know if this is actually a famous brand. This is something you want to do your own research on, and obviously we're not actually going to sell Crocs. This again is all about the purpose of giving you the correct mindset to conduct keyword research with Helium 10 correctly. But as part of this mindset, this is a very good example to think of, because in many different cases you might come across branded products, but as long as you can see a product like Bronax, which are also selling 46,000 units a month, you can see here they're actually only selling a couple hundred less than Adidas. So you now know that if you were to sell a product like this, it doesn't matter if Adidas is ranking for the keyword, because Bronax are also getting a lot of the sales. And you can also validate this by going back to Cerebro. If this listing was all Crocs, because if all the keywords that showed up for this main listing were Adidas, then that would be more of an alarm bell, because if it was only Adidas keywords, then you might not want to sell this product. But seeing as a lot of the keywords do not say Adidas, it's just men's Crocs, slides for men, etc., you know there's windows to still sell them. And as we also know, Crocs itself is a main brand, which is obviously the listing that's ranking at the top, because as you can see here, the brand is Crocs. But again, it doesn't matter, because Bronax are still competing with these top selling brands, and there's still plenty of demand to go around. So this is all things you want to be thinking about when you're conducting your keyword research. So spend time going through the keyword results in Cerebro. Just keep going through them, looking at all the different keyword phrases that have shown up, because essentially each one of these keyword phrases is its own marketplace. And the results that show up on page 1 are how you find the windows for sales opportunities where your products could be ranking, if there is a nice variety of keywords on that page 1 search result. And don't worry if that sounds confusing, because in the next episode I will be telling you exactly how you analyse the page 1 search results for each of these keywords, which is an essential step in the keyword research process using Helium 10. So that's about it for this next episode. Be sure to be tuned in for episode 3, where I break down exactly how you analyse the keyword search results for page 1. So I'll see you in the next one.